Hi, my name's Paul Cresswell. Welcome to Paul's Tackle Reviews. The purpose of this channel is to review tackle that's been out on the bank, tried and tested by an unbiased, unsponsored angler, and that's me. It's still freezing cold and I can't go out fishing, so you're getting the benefit of another video. And today I'm looking at lots of little bits of tackle, and every single item I'm going to show you today is under £10, which is quite a bargain these days. I think fish and chips is nearly a tenner. You don't get a lot for under a tenner. I'm doing these in no particular order. The order might change because I've got lots of stuff in front of me. So let's kick it off with the Preston Safe Method rod rest. And I've had this quite a long time, as you can probably tell by the dirt that's on it there. I've got it screwed into one of the quick release connectors for my feeder arm, but it does come with a standard thread. It's the perfect rest for the Method pellet hybrid, where you have a slight angle in the rod. You've got the rod in there. You cannot lose your rod using this rod rest. It's straightforward. Not much else to say. It's got a lovely little groove to put the line in, so if you're tightening up, the line isn't sticking against the plastic. $6.99, bit of a bargain. Next, something that I use an awful lot, and it's called the Preston Quick Cone and Bake Mould. Now, I don't use a pellet cone. I've had a go with it in the past. I just think there's better methods and it is really faffy. But I've got two sizes here. They also do a large size as well. What I mainly use these for is for punches of ground bait. So I'll put it into the ground bait, often slightly over wetted ground bait. You get a lovely little punch, and this red size also fits perfectly in the matrix pole cups, which I generally use. And it's just a great way of feeding a small amount of bait. A lot of places I go, if you put a bowl of ground bait in, you are getting fizzing, you're getting bubbles, and you've got to swim where you know the fish are there, but they just can't find your bait. So it's a great way of introducing small amounts, especially in winter, just trickling in a tiny amount of bait. Sometimes all I use is the little blue one, and that's a tiny punch of bait. You can also use these with micro pellets as well. So if you don't want to feed them loose through the water, you want a little clump to get to the bottom. Maybe it's deep water. I fish deep venues. I use these to produce a tiny little punch. They are $3.99 each. I wouldn't be without them. When, not if, I lose them in the water, I will just buy some more. I think these are brilliant. The big one, not so much for me, the yellow one, but I think these two sizes are brilliant. Right, we're on to third item, a Matrix EVA bait tub. And you're probably thinking, EVA bait tub, seen them, got loads of them. This one is slightly different, and it's a very thick EVA. I think it's 1 millimeter, and you can also see by the shape, it's slightly flared out. So they actually call this their EVA stacking tub because they stack inside each other. And a lot of EVA you get is floppy and you can't stack it, it's all perfectly square. The other great thing about this is it doesn't have any corners where there's a join. It's all one piece. So you don't get bits stuck in the corner, really easy to clean, but it's also solid and firm. So quite often I'm punching into the base of there and I've got no worries whatsoever. It's 3 pint, they do lots of sizes. Now, I think these are a bit steep, but I'm pleased I've got it. This 3-pint size is £8.99. I know they do lots of sizes of these. This is generally, if I've got ground bait on my side tray, I've got it in there. We're on to another bait tub. Can you believe how many bait tubs have I got? If you've seen previous videos, you'll know I've got loads from different manufacturers. We're now onto a Preston lidded bait tub. It has a lid. It will sit open with your bait in there. It's plastic, it's not EVA. The lid comes over, you keep things relatively dry. What I won't say is this is 100% waterproof, but if it's on my tray and it's raining light, you're not going to have any issues. If it's heavy rain, I'm going to have my bait brolly up anyway. But what I've found is the real use for me is to store 2mm micros on the bank, fully blown micros that I'm going to feed on the pole. It's really easy to leave them in a tray open, even when the sun's not out and they just dry out. Just pop the lid down and it just stops them drying out, so it keeps them in great condition. It's also a really handy way to carry them to and from the bank by putting them in there. It doesn't lock tight, it's not anything like that, but obviously if you stack it the right way up, you're going to be fine. £4.49. It's a brilliant price for something that's just really handy to have one of on the side tray. The next one, and I've done a separate video on this many moons ago, is black grease. And if you're searching for this on eBay, you need to put associated black grease. This is now, it's about £8 a tub. When I got this 2 years ago, it was £5 odd. I've done a separate video, especially in winter, but even in summer, a lot of places I've got white water, I've got clear backgrounds. In winter, I do try and set up a swim using white water, because with this black bristle grease, it's a lot easier to see even when the wind gets up. If you've got those difficult backgrounds where the trees haven't got any leaves, then it can be quite tricky to see. You simply put a little bit on the tip of your float. If you want to know more, go and see the other video I've done on this. And the best thing, unlike using a marker pen, you just wipe it off with your fingers. At the end of the day, it never damages the pole tip, the pole float tip. Here we have the Guru shop pliers. Now, Guru aren't renowned for producing things that are on the excellent values. No, they do produce great value kit, but they're not renowned for producing cheap stuff. Now, I bought a couple of years ago some Cresta shop pliers, and I think they're about £12.99. Preston have launched theirs, they're £17.99, and these are identical to the Cresta ones, and they are £5.99. I seriously think, Guru, you've underpriced them. They are just brilliant. If I'm putting shot on, mainly doing rigs at home, phone call coming through. If I'm doing rigs at home, then I'm putting the shot on the line, and then I'm just tightening it with those. They also have, you can see the little spiky bit there, about half a centimetre down. That makes taking off shot and stops really easy. So it's worth having a set of these on the bank. They also have a cutter, so you can cut line with it. I don't use that. I've got a pair of scissors on the bank, and I use something else when I'm preparing rigs. So there we go. It's £5.99, excellent value. We've got another Guru product now, and these are their fast release pole pots, and they've designed these with lots of holes in the side. You can see there So mainly for micros I've found this, but you can use it for ground bait, is you just put them in, just cap them off, they don't come out, but as soon as you dip your pole tip under the water with that, it comes out straight away. They do exactly what they say on the tin. They are fast release. I use the Matrix for most of my gear. I've seen people have put holes into these to make them fast release. I just bought these. Yeah, £5.49 for two. They do 3 different sizes. This is the small and medium that I've got. I don't have the large ones. But £5.49 for two. Something I've shown on another video looking at my Midwater stuff is the Midwater tote pellet bag, and it's called a tote bag because it's that kind of style. It has really excellent Velcro at the top, and I just carry pellets in. This is how I carry them in my bag. This is the 6mm in red that I use. I've got a blue one with 4mm, and I've got a black one with 8mm, and they're on with me all the time in the bank. If you're getting through more than that in a session, you really are feeding a lot. Now, you can use them like that and then just use them as you go. I always put them in another container because I know what's going to happen is I'll drop other baits into there and make a bit of a mess of them. But you can use them like that. They just Velcro back up, and this is a waterproof material, and I have left that on its side in the rain and nothing's got through. Best of all, £4.99. I know there's a bit of postage, but if you're getting 3, it will keep that cost down. Really well made in Britain, lots of different colours. So I like to think I'm clever. I've got red for 6mm, red and 6 have both got 3 letters. I've got black for 8mm, black and 8 have both got 5 letters. And then I've got the blue for me 4mm, and blue and 4 have both got 4mm. And you'd think I'd get used to it after time, but I still have to do that in my head to make sure I pick the right one up. Penultimate item is Matrix nippers, and that's it. It's a piece of metal, sharp ends, and what this is brilliant for is when you're tying hooks, I just use it like that, and you can get really tight. Now, obviously, you can use nail clippers. You can get a pair of for probably £1 off eBay, or you can just use normal scissors. But I find with this, I can really get close, and it works so well for me. Whether they're worth $5.99 or not, that's for you to decide, but I really like them, and I wouldn't be without them for rig preparation. I don't have a set on the bank. Obviously I do knots on the bank, but generally speaking, they're just the knots that are connecting to your elastic. So I don't have one on the bank. $5.99, great little tool for helping you make really good rigs and really good hooks. Finally, I didn't think I could not do a pole float. So I've slimmed down the number of floats I have now, but this is a Nufish float. It's called a cypri. You've probably seen it advertised, and you'll see people using them, and it is such a versatile float. So it's got a wire stem, so it's stable, but it's that night-eye wire, so it's not going to bend out of shape. It's not like the old steel ones. It's got the classic slim body, and it's got a 1.7mm tip, and I think that means you can use it for an awful lot. Now, I use these in winter when I'm doing soft pellet fishing, And you might think 1.7 isn't sensitive, but you can get it right down to an absolute tiny amount, maybe a blob of Vaseline or a blob of the black bristle grease, and it is super sensitive. And the other thing about 1.7 is it's visible as well. And in winter, that sometimes is more important than having a super fine tip, is being able to see it. Because if you can't see it, you can't strike, you can't catch fish. They're so well made, and it also, the line goes through the body. So you just thread it through the body, and that means you're never going to pull the eye out. Now, I've had a set of these since they came out, and I've never broken one yet. I don't know how you would break one. Obviously, it's not unbreakable. But they're just a brilliant float. And I did put on a video that Nufish had done. If you did this with a carbon stem, I think you'd then have a couple of floats you could use for 80% of your fishing. Even if you're fishing short on the pole in summer and you've got a big bait and you're fishing top 2 plus 2, this float will do a really good job for you. That's it. I hope you found that interesting. I think hopefully there's something for everybody there, something maybe you haven't thought about, or maybe just something you've got in the back of the garage and you want to get back out and use again. If you want to give me a like and subscribe, that's fantastic. Any questions or comments about any of the items today, just put it below and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Until next time, tight lines.